I think we're all just came here and then your reaction to what sustainability is.
Right.
And trying to hold that and keep that here. I don't think we ever made up that we're going to get fulfilled by anything. It's just a big reaction
Yeah.
to, we're going to run out, we're not going to sustain,
Yeah.
we're going to have to work at it, we're going to have to struggle, and it's not going to be enough, and we're going to die anyways. And I think that's how the whole story of distraction and fulfillment came around,
Yeah.
based on nobody accepted the initial premise of being a physical person, that no one's happy with it. So when you found out that your parents were going to not take care of you all the time, provide all your meals, or couldn't stop you from falling down and hurting your knee, and we got the myth of the Santa Claus of experience came along, which is just try and you'll get happy and fulfilled. But I don't think anybody really believed it, did they, that you're going to get fulfilled by anything?
Not really. Not really.
No. You'd have to have some evidence that people are doing it. Then it seems like it's working.
Out there.
Look at your parents, they're pretty miserable.
That's right.
Look at the guy down the street, he's pretty miserable. So you have to have some evidence that there is such a thing, right? And somehow you're going to get there.
Right.
Because all this evidence, there's all these people who are fulfilled and happy. But I don't think we ever met anybody like that. But our culture is very much set up for this idea of happiness in the future. Yeah. So you're going to overlook the sorrow and suffering of being mortal. It's a big distraction. Big Santa Claus trip. It's like, what time, why does everybody tell their kids there's Santa Claus when there isn't?
Just
Setting up that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to believe it still. At least want to see it believed in someone else's eyes.
The beginning of that idea that you're going to get fulfilled. Some magical being is going to fulfill you if you're, but you have to be good.
Yeah.
You don't get fulfillment if you're bad. We all know that, right?
Better watch it out.
You still get to be president, though.
That's
Well, he's just trying to get fulfilled too, isn't he? Like, what? So it's a big distraction, this whole idea. You spend your life trying to get happy, trying to get fulfilled, to cover up that you're disappointed about experience. You're disappointed about being mortal, that you're going to die, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to suffer. You're really disappointed about that. But we never acknowledge it. We never talk about it. Have you gotten more disappointed about life as you're getting older?
You see that there isn't anything to grab hold of unless we have the blessing of being with you. And then we see there is a different life.
You can't hold on to me. Trying. What can you hold on to?
Conviction that there is something different.
There isn't anything different. It's just this. And you gotta face it. It's just this. There's nothing happy about this. It's mortal, it's suffering, and it's gonna die. That's never gonna change.
That's true.
So how do you deal with that? You go. How do you deal with it?
Accept it.
Accept it? You usually, do I have to?
You have to accept it.
Do I have to?
That's how I live.
Remember all the things you tried to do to get happy, like a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a kid, more money, being good at something, getting away with something, all the things you try to get fulfilled. Well, they're just all really covering up. It's not so great here, and we don't like it. Yeah, we don't like it here. So even if everybody was getting along with everybody in the world, you think you would still like it? You would like it better? There would be more hope for fulfillment? Do you think so?
It's still gonna end.
I don't.
Yeah, it's still gonna end.
But don't you want it to end, though? It's so
Kind of.
awful.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It is.
But there's always that thing.
It's a nagging thing.
Yeah, that life's not acceptable. It's just not. I want to end up looking that old, did you? No. That's not acceptable. That wasn't a plan. So just the premise of life is not acceptable to anybody. And we haven't dealt with that. So that's why we're so busy looking, try to get happy or be fulfilled or try something new, because we never face it's just not acceptable. And if you face it, does it get acceptable? I don't like it. So, but that's the condition. So what does that mean? That you're in a condition that you're never going to like particularly.
Yeah.
That's the condition we're in. So you're never going to really like it particularly. Well, then the good thing is you're not going to be here forever, right?
Yeah. Right.
That's good instead of it's bad. Before death was bad, right? When you're trying to get fulfilled, you go, wait a minute, not death. I'm not fulfilled yet. Right? But if you accept the condition that it's difficult being embodied, being here, right? If you really accept that and don't try to escape it, then death is a lot more acceptable
Yes. Yeah.
to you. Like, what? Oh. So where are we going? What are we doing here? Yeah. So how did that start a new religion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, huh? See, he got out of here. Or did he? Or where is he?
Yeah.
Or what if the lineage is only everybody's heart? That's it. Everybody's heart is the lineage. Everybody is the transmission. She likes that. Yeah! We're all exactly as he is. Nobody's doing anything else. And we're living with the limit of this condition. We accept it. And we all accept that death is acceptable.
Good.
So if death's not acceptable, it changes your point of view. But if it is acceptable, how are you made different by that? If death is really acceptable.
You look forward to it.
You look forward to it, which is something nobody does, right?
Yeah.
You're old, do you look forward to it? You know, closer you get to something, you looking forward to it? Or?
There are times when I have felt that, but I
But
can't
just
say-
relief from your pain,
Yeah.
but not actually the event.
I don't know that I've gotten that.
Well, have you ever looked forward to going to Saddleback Lake?
Yes.
Okay. So can you actually look forward to your death?
You said that. You said something to me when I was getting ready to have prayer. You said you look forward to the birth and the excitement of that, and you should bring that to your death too.
Yes.
And I thought that was a really that really stuck with me.
It's like a wonderful event. So how do you acknowledge it? So if death is not the enemy, it's just not crushing your game of trying to get fulfilled. It's actually a very important event in your life to look forward to, not because particularly life is crummy, although it is, but what is that event if it was really welcomed and looked at as like the major event of your life? One of the, if not the major event, right? Getting born and dying are the major events. In between, it's just like going, when do I get fulfilled? And it's kind of hard being here. Like, aren't we tired of like judging the whole world as being crappy?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
There's peace in this room, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There's the heart here.
Yes.
You're all the lineage. You're all the transmission of that. So are you getting already happy?
Yes.
Are you already happy? Yes, yes.
It's really happy.
That's the practice, to live as the truth of that. And so not going back and assuming that there isn't peace. Not going back and assuming that death is not acceptable. Not looking to get out of this condition here by seeking to be fulfilled, even spiritually. So you can have a nice spiritual experience and say, oh boy, that's a lot better than getting up and having diarrhea and going to my job. Oh yeah, I went to the blue realm. So nice over there. Those people are a lot better. They are blue though. I won't hold that against them. My favorite color. Yeah, so what would that be like? Just that we are already it. We're already it. We're in this condition. You know, we're looking forward to our deaths. We accept that life is difficult and limited. We're not trying to escape into some idea, some spiritual realm, or some idea, or some girlfriend or boyfriend, or more money for our fulfillment. The immediacy of just being here like that, like this. You're all enlightened right now. If you live here. And you live here next moment, the next moment, then you are living it. You don't have to get a big acknowledgement of plaque says you're enlightened. Nobody cares anyways because everybody's what? Busy, that life is not acceptable and they have to escape it through fulfillment. And they're not looking forward to their deaths. Right? At all. Not in any way, shape, or form. But what if it is the most incredible event ever? But how are you going to know that?
By dying in this life.
Yeah, dying in this life. And dying to what?
The ego self-contraction.
Yeah. So the practice is always satsang first. Right? You don't have to deal with the ego. You have to deal with that you're not being happy. Be happy. So somebody comes along and you said, my best friend just died. And the person says, well, that's good. You're going to die, I'm going to die, we're all going to die. It's a good thing, so be happy. I can't be happy, it's my best friend. I can't ever see him again. So that's the condition, right? Whatever we can see or not see, whatever we can possess or attach ourselves to. If that disappears, we're mad. We're not in satsang. We're not happy anymore. But everything's disappearing. Now that we're old, isn't it obvious as everything's disappearing? And we're like, kind of good. This is a good thing because if all this had to stay, just consider what a unique time we're living in. How did we get this incredible population surge in the last 100 years?
Right.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
There used to be maybe 200 years ago or 150 years ago, how many people? Not even a billion?
Not a billion.
And now there's 8 billion. How did we get so full of people here?
We're so sexy.
So sexy.
It's an amazing thing, which we can't account for. We don't know why this happened.
Not at all.
We don't know why it's happening.
Yeah.
And we can come up with a lot of reasons that make it seem bad. But what if it's just a big miracle anyways?
Yeah.
It is.
It kind of is. How did this happen? How did any of this happen,
Yeah.
How did the internet happen? Why did some guy want to make a computer and then want everybody else to have one? Why? I don't know. Why did a whole bunch of people all around the world get so creative? They wrote billions of songs and millions of art objects everywhere. Why did it get such an explosion of creativity? Why did any of this happen? It's amazing. We're living in an incredibly amazing time, but we're not enjoying any of it. Not really. It's so amazing. And, if you consider poor people can watch TV and see anything from around the world,
Yeah.
get on their cell phones and talk to anybody, anywhere.
That's right.
This stuff, only really rich people had access to this kind of, movability,
Yeah.
where they could move around and do what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even poor people now can. It's so amazing. We got the best of the best of the best of the best, but we all emotionally feel like we're in the worst of the worst of the worst. How did this happen? So the best and the best and the worst and the worst at the same time. But is it the worst and the worst? I don't know.
Mm.
I just know if I'm in the room and there's love and people are loving. You know, I know that. That's all I know. And that's all you can know. The contraction or the love. Contraction or the love, right? And that's why I said, wow, when she's 65, if all this amazing stuff happened in our lifetime, I can't even imagine it except as more amazing.
Exactly.
Right.
But there's still going to be the same thing unless we overcome it. And what's that?
Ego.
Yeah, that, but also the first thing. The first thing is that life is not acceptable, and death is not acceptable. So it's not we're just rejecting death, we're also rejecting life as it is.
Yeah.
We're rejecting it all, the life and the death. And when people want to somehow become spiritual, what do they want to do? Get out of life
Yeah.
and get out of death.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want to just be in this room. Just be here. And not know anything. Adida always said, cannot know what a single thing is. You can't know what you are. You can't know any of it. So, okay. So the wisest person in the world, Adida, didn't know a single thing. He didn't know nothing. That was his teaching. You cannot know what a single thing is. He didn't know anything. But why didn't that make him upset?
He accepted it.
He accepted it. And when you accept it, what happens to your heart?
Relaxes.
Relaxes, feels at peace, feels happy, feels open.
Yeah.
And you look at everyone and say, can you feel the bliss of happiness? And they're like, what are you talking about? You weirdo.
Hippie.
Yippee. But they do. They're just covering it up with the first thing. Life's hard. Life's difficult. Why is it like this? It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah. It's always the first grumpy idea.
The first grumpy idea.
Yeah. Life's not acceptable. When did you feel that life was kind of crummy? You didn't really like it that much.
A long time ago.
Age 3.
Age
Yeah.
3.
When I
Yeah.
was a kid. for
When you were
sure.
a kid. And why did you feel that way?
Nobody was happy.
Yeah.
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 Right.
But was it because no one was happy? How about you?
I was.
You were. So what was the difference between that? It's not really somebody else that you saw wasn't happy. It's why did you decide that life wasn't acceptable and you're not happy?
Nobody was getting fulfilled.
No. Why did you decide that life wasn't acceptable? Just based on you, not observing anybody, just you.
It ends.
It ends. Yeah. So you were a little kid digging life, like, it's so fun being alive, existence, yeah, playing, oh, this is cool. Then you look around, little people grouch you here and there, and kind of interrupt you, but you go, oh, life, oh, let's play the sun. Oh. And then, somewhere along the line, you saw something dead.
Yeah.
And you went, oh, this is not good. And then nobody showed you any other reaction
No.
past that very
Yeah.
childish
They didn't
first
know any other
reaction.
reaction.
Yeah. No one said, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Everything appears in life and it's going to disappear out of life. And there's a really wonderful, happy secret about that. And you're going to find it out as you live. And you're going to live more. And you're going to see more of this. Death is going to always be there going, hey, check me out. It's pretty cool. But you've already been trained to believe in your first reaction is the only reaction. Which is, when you first heard about death, because you're 13, right? What did you think? You're like,
Pretty much.
yeah, yeah. Anybody remember that when I first found out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
Because that's a natural reaction to have, because you're so full of that existence feels happy to you when you're a little kid. So when you see that it ends, of course you don't want that to end.
Yeah.
So it seems terrible. But that's just an initial naive response. But nobody gets past that, see? Everybody carries that into 13, 19, 45, 89. Yeah, that's the problem. But what if you had a friend and she said, yeah, and you said, you know, I'm like really having fun playing. I see these grumpy people around, but I don't care. I'm having fun and playing. But I saw something that's dead and it doesn't move and it can't play with me. Is that going to happen to me? And that person says, yeah. And you're like, I don't want that to happen to me. But the person says, when that happens to you, you're going to want it to happen to you. It's going to be a wonderful mystery. It's going to be as great as playing, as existence feels to you. It's going to be that great. Wouldn't that be so different?
Yeah. Oh, definitely different.
We can't know what life is, so certainly we can't know what death is, so why do we have to trash it as something horribly terrible and negative? Yeah. And we do that about life, though, too. Kind of trash it, don't you think?
Yeah.
So any questions? So maybe we can, what?
Do it different.
Accept life as it is, the conditions of it, and not try to run to fulfillment. So sadhana is living life. That's sadhana. Accepting it as it is, complete with death. Accepting that. If you can accept it, you can be here as love. If you can't accept it, you can't. So everyone in this room is the most beautiful person and valuable person you've ever met. Wouldn't that feel wonderful?
Yes.
To know that about everybody here? I feel that way. And you could feel that way every day. So that's my take on it. Hope you enjoyed it. So spiritual practice is nothing like what you think it is. You don't go in a room and get by yourself and try to get in there with God. Because if Adida didn't know what a single thing is, certainly didn't know what a God was either, right? And who is he? What did he come to show you? Accept and live life as your sadhana. Love and live it. And the seeking part is just the reaction that you're mortal. It's just running away from that. Life is difficult and it's mortal. But if you live here as love, and that each one you know and meet is the deepest, most important love to you, it's going to be like really cool. It's really groovy to love that way. And that's what you felt when you were a kid. You didn't feel it as love, you felt it as existence.
Yeah.
You know, the
Excitement.
hum and buzz of
Yeah.
existence,
Yes.
you know. You didn't feel it as love. But living in a relatable, the unified, relatable field of love, you can feel it that way as well. But most people feel it as a little kid, as existence, the buzz of existence. And then you find out that death is here, and you're going to die. And then you look around and you see everybody's grumpy, and then it begins to matter that they're grumpy to you. You notice at a certain point it didn't matter that people were grumpy?
You didn't pay attention to it.
You didn't pay attention to it, yeah. So. I remember when I was 12 and I was thinking about death, and I was like, what would it be like to be dead? Okay, no. Then I started to think, okay, next thought, that's not important. All right, my sister and brothers aren't important because, you know, they're not gonna be dead. You don't exist. You don't have thoughts. You don't have feelings. What would it be like to not have any of those things and die?
No.
What's that?
No.
So I entered into a worry-free, thought-free state. Somehow I knew I was different than other people. Because one of the things you have to face is terror on the spiritual path.
Yes.
You do. It's when your death, you get on the spiritual path. It's conscious process, so unlike an unconscious process where death can kind of creep up on you and you get really scared, or like the boogeyman or the rapist can come in there. There's a conscious process where death begins to stalk you and you feel it. And it makes all the cells in your body stand up and go, "Oh." And you have to stay. You have to let Kali's big fat mouth open up and swallow you. And if she does, and you come back, you're not afraid of death ever again. Not in the way people are afraid of death. So we have to build a different relationship to life. That this life we're given is acceptable, it's a sadhana, it's beautiful, it's our heart. We're going to live here, live in agreement that death is an important part of this journey. We're fine with it. We want to love here as now. We don't want to be afraid. We don't want to be afraid of our death. We don't want to be mad about our death. We don't want to be mad about life. We don't want to be mad about the ego. Everybody is like I said, you're all the lineage. You are. Who do you think the lineage is, You guys. Anybody who lives in this acceptance and lives as love is the transmission of it, is it. So if you're a big transmitter of it or a small one, it depends on how profoundly you live here. Or you go back to searching for happiness to get fulfilled because you're afraid of your death. You're afraid of the conditions of life, that they're difficult. But did you ever just sit down and say what I don't like about life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What'd you discover?
That everything is sorrowful
Mm-hmm.
because it's stamped with its death.
Yeah.
And there's a million things that are sorrowful.
Billions.
Billions and endless. They're driving mad.
What if we just have the wrong relationship to death? We've been trained to have the wrong emotional relationship to death. What's so valuable about being here that disappearing out of it is unacceptable and sad? What's so great about here? What? Yeah, that we're like, oh. What's so great about it? Every day you have to get up and go, all right, right? Gotta go to work or gotta take care of the baby. You don't get up and go, wow! Amazing! I appeared here again! Oh, jeez, this is so fun. We're all like, okay. Well, that's what it's like, isn't it?
Yes, it's so true.
What's that?
Gotta do this again.
Yeah. So, yeah, why do we feel that way? If life is so great. Because we don't really feel it's that great. No, they always say, well, what's the alternative? Conscious awareness. Boy, that's rough. What a rough choice. There's life, there's death, and that's it. And conscious awareness. Unacceptable. I mean, there's nothing bad going on. You guys, if you only really knew that you're making up this so terrible dream, and you don't have to dream it. But the way through is to accept it first. To examine and accept that you've been trained to have this emotional reaction against life, and against your death, and against love, and against living love right now, and being love, and being the lineage and the transmission. So, Arida's not saying, these people are losers, they can't possibly be the lineage.
People.
Not them.
Not them.
I was looking for more like Dalai Lama type or something. Not these guys. Nah. He stands as you are. He's not a separate one over in the brightness there. He's not over there. He's there, but he's not over there. He's here as you are. Whenever you accept life as it is, when you accept the love that is, and you live that as your sadhana, as your life, there's no sadhana that is different from the life you're actually having. To fully live in it and accept it is perfect sadhana. That's sadhana.
Wow.
There's no other. So if you're the guy that works at JCPenney, you're the guy at JCPenney doing already happy there. You don't get out of it somewhere else. That's it. Yeah? Yeah? She said, I get to be a baby for a while. And that doesn't last long, right? No. Nor does our ages last long. Right, Pat?
Yeah.
You're the oldest?
Yeah.
You're 77.
77.
So is this the best time to be alive?
That's it.
All right. You know you're doing something right. Feel that way.
Yeah.
So what do you think about your future?
It's gonna be fun.
All right. That's good dreaming. That's good dreaming. Because I'm only here to do the good dreaming. I'm not doing any of the bad dreaming. There's no sinners in my book.
It's
There's
a good
just
thing.
people who can't accept life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And searching somewhere else. Because the first condition of this is what it's like here. This is what it's like being a body. So Ela's got a cold. She's been really sick with arthritis. That's what it's like, huh? Yeah.
But you show us love under all circumstances. It's incredible.
Yeah. That's the lineage. That's the transmission. That's what you can do. Do it the best and you'll be just as happy. Right, Pat?
Yeah.
Don't give up. Don't stop doing it.
No, you can't. You can't.
So the first condition of sadhana is always
Give.
give. Give your love. Yeah. Instead of trying to get fulfilled. When you're busy trying to get fulfilled, you don't have any time to turn to the person next to you and go, wow, she's amazing. Wow. Awesome. It'd be fun to love her, right? Because love is fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It is. All right. Let's drag it out forever. Let's not drag the love out forever.
Don't torture me.
No, because what people think life is, what sadhana is, it's not really that at all. It's a really big, wonderful surprise, you know. And the surprise is, given that life is what it is, and that we're all going to die, and whatever you feel about that, mostly bad, most people feel, that in that condition, the heart is here and wants to love and enjoys love.
Yeah.
And that's the surprise. That's it, you know. So, yeah, so you don't have to go in your sadhana corners and try to meditate yourself into enlightenment.
That's hard.
That tried it, I guess. Didn't work out for you, but. No, it's when you come out of the room, what are you doing next? Yeah. It's okay to go in the room and meditate. That's good. Yeah, meditation's good. I meditated. But when I came out of the room, that's when you bring it with you. Yeah. It's when you keep that transmission open as your heart. Keep it, let it expand. So the people who know you feel your love. At any age, huh? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you've been in the past either. They immediately respond. Immediately. So some grumpy old guy can come by and feel this and understand this and give himself or herself to it, and then everybody around them is feeling the change. It's not like you have to overcome anything. It's just what it is, you know. And it's just so we're in this little room, in this little corner of the world, in the wilderness. You know, and you probably wondered, like, what would it have been to be with Arida when he was so happy and ecstatic and loving everybody? Well, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
You're it. You're it. Tag, you're it.
Yes. Yeah.
Just be bigger it, and bigger and bigger. And it always increases. And then everyone will say, you know, if Adida's not here in the body, it's just not that good. It's just not like it used to be. And you go, no way! That's not true at all.
Yeah.
Not even close. We're not stuck in the past with any condition, no matter how much we loved it. We're stuck in the present here.
Stuck in the present, tag, you're it.
The life you're having, where you are, is the center of the universe, the center of this transmission, and the center of love. Because you're the one that's living it. It matters to you, not that somebody else somewhere is.
Mm-hmm.
And so whoever you come in contact and see and express this and feel this, they are affected by it. And we don't have to name it one person. We can name it everyone. And that's what's so cool about it. And that's, when anybody has this idea that he does over there, or he's, you look at a picture of him, and I'm like, I can't really relate to that because right here. And he has this expression. This weird woman.
Yay!
Give women a chance. I think he's happy about it. But he's happy about all of you. Each one is everything. No one's just not that important. Each one is. And you can be as big as his love is yourself. And that's the sadhana. That's sadhana, that's satsang, that's living. So it's not struggling with the contraction. It's not struggling. It's understanding. So if you understand what I'm talking about, that whole motivation to search for happiness comes from the rejection that life is unacceptable. And look at yourself. Look when you go around, you're not accepting it. And say, well, why don't I accept it right now? Then the whole moment changes when you accept it. And somewhere along the line, when you find out you're going to die, you just have this very, young reaction to it. Oh, she's getting pooped.
Sit down, Pat.
Yeah. I'm getting tired now, okay? All right. Anybody would like to say anything before I depart?
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you, Santosha.
I love you very much.
I love you all.
I love you.
That was great. You're all the gods. Goddesses. You're amazing, but you gotta really realize how great you are. How powerful too. You can change everything all the time. You can be the big dreamers. No one has a minor role ever. Everyone has the big role. Everyone.
Awesome.
But it's up to you. So you have to live in the satsang. So God didn't say, well, somehow that vehicle is so much cooler than that vehicle. God said, anybody want anything? You want to try it? You? Yes. Okay. And then you go, well, I'll try it for 5 minutes. See if I like it. No, I don't. So it's anybody. You can be fat, skinny, young, old. Anything. God wants everyone to step up. The God that you are. The secret is you are that God, It is beautiful. So you don't have to sit around thinking, am I good enough to wake up? Am I bad enough not to wake up? You don't have to think any of those things. You just have to really understand what life is, what real satsang is, and that's your practice. And once you get good at this practice, it just is naturally occurring. Right now it doesn't occur completely naturally to you. You have to practice. But once you practice something well enough, like a song, you just go la da 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 da, just bang it out, and it will be like that at a certain point. But you have to get past the initial hump. That it's not like that because you believed all those things, that life, about death and life, about seeking. You believed all those things for so long. So. You can write your own story and say, I lived this dumb little life until I lived this life. Make it up. Make it good. When you hear stories about the spiritual masters, they always make about like their special powers and Buddha walked and lotus flowers appeared and different stuff like that. You can make that stuff up too if you want.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Because we never know. Nobody knows what Krishna really looked like. Nobody knows what Buddha really looked like. Nobody knows what Jesus really looked like. They're all artist renderings. That's what they are, right? Any idea what they look like is from an artist. Is an artist rendering. So the artists have given you what a master looks like, and you've accepted it, and that's good because artists have a good sense of beauty. So, would you have somebody who couldn't really draw?
Beavis and butthead Jesus.
Snidey face.
So that's good.
This looks like Charlie Brown.
Stick figure, just not even fingers.
All the Charlie Browns in the world.
You're the Charlie
You're the Charlie Brownest.
Or Hello Kitty. I just don't have any.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to fill in the expression. Yeah. If you're sad, Hello Kitty's supposed to look sad. If you're happy, she's supposed to be happy. Yeah, that was good. That was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right.